Therapy with Rikki Podcast, where we talk about real conversations that we can feel. I am your host, Rikki McCoy, a licensed therapist in Atlanta, Georgia, and I am excited to be here and hold space for you as we talk about these real topics, these real conversations that may be difficult, they may be hard, they're not so easily brought up in our day-to-day conversations, but that's why we're here, to really get down and raw and real and relatable about all the things, y'all. How are y'all doing today? I really want you to take a moment, if you have not, and just check in with yourself. Ask yourself how you feeling, ask yourself what you need on this journey of life, of wellness, and all the things. Today's episode, I am super excited to share. I have been wanting to share for some time, and I've just been trying to figure out my approach for how I want to share, but I definitely want to share. Been wanting to share this for a while, and we're gonna get into my depression story. So I have been dealing with anxiety and depression now since, looking back, if I had to look back at the signs and symptoms and when they started, I would definitely say in undergraduate school. So 19, 20 years old, navigating young adulthood, transitions, all of the things. I definitely feel like I had some anxiety adjusting to adulthood, right? Feeling nervous, feeling anxious, worrying, always wanting to just fill my schedule. My schedule was always really full, really busy, not really knowing how to sit still, right? Not learning about self-care, not knowing all of those things. I'm just trying to get to the next level. And so that is how early I would say it started. Like I said, we don't learn. We didn't learn what those signs and those symptoms were, which I'm so glad that we have so many platforms and so many things, education, therapists, information out there today, so that people can really learn about self-care and what stress looks like and what anxiety looks like and what sadness or depression can look like. And so I remember being like 19 or 20, having those symptoms, but just being a college student, burning myself out, working, partying, going to class, all of the things. And it just kept hitting me. Like I kept wondering like what was next, but not really feeling like what I was doing or the path that I was on was the right path I was supposed to be on. And so I would get these little moments of fear, and really I look at them now like they were like self-sabotaging moments. I came to grad school. I moved to Atlanta. I came to grad school. I went to my graduate program and got there. I was there for a semester and I was like, nah, this ain't it. Just like self-sabotaging, like, nope, this is not it. I was missing home. I was missing my friends, my family. Adjusting to relocating to a whole nother state was kind of difficult for me. And so I went back. So I went to school for a semester. I finished one semester of grad school. I went back home. And by home, I mean like I went back to college, right? So like my friends that were still there, my sorority, all the people I was comfortable with and I wanted to be around, I went back. And I stayed there 2 months, maybe 2 months, right? I'm like, girl, you did not need to come back here. Like you were just scared, whatever. I don't know what the hell, I don't know what's going on with you really, but this ain't it. Go back, finish what you started. Don't be afraid to like try new things. And so I had to sit out of school for a whole year before I could re-enroll. And I went back, I finished school, y'all, got my master's in social work, and just kind of took off from there, right? And so I didn't know what that was. I didn't know I was having anxiety. I didn't know I was just, homesick and just struggling to transition to the next phase of my life. Yeah, I didn't know that. But I will say that anxiety kind of crept back up for me. It always creeps up for me just when I'm busy or when I have new things going on in my life, right? So relationships, having a child, like those different phases of life. And it's like, oh, any little sign of stress is like throwing me off track. So just needed to learn like coping skills and coping strategies and techniques that worked for me. And so I got into self-care, really got into like, okay, this anxiety is here for whatever reason, whatever traumas I have experienced, growing up or whatever. Like I have these things, these signs and these symptoms that are happening, right? I would get real panicky at night, real just anxious energy all the time, not really knowing what to do with it. I just know I have this energy that's like keeping me up at night and I cannot sleep, right? It was later that I realized it was also accompanied with sadness. And so just this lack of motivation, feeling tired, feeling drained, feeling unmotivated, feeling like I'm not content, like there's never enough, or those kind of things. And so then I just started to just be self-aware and self-assess, and I'm just like, this might be a little deeper than just anxiety, right? Like there's something here, which is what a lot of people don't realize. Like you can have so many like physical symptoms, body aches, pains, stiffness in your neck, digestive issues. You might eat a lot or not eat at all, right? We may be sleeping too much or not sleeping at all. Our body tries to communicate to us in so many ways that something's off, that is in this fight or flight mode, right? So I was always in survival mode, and survival mode felt comfortable to me. It was something that I was just used to doing, used to thriving in, until I realized, I'm like, I don't have to live in survival mode anymore. And so just got into some self-care. I think I got into some therapy first. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go see a therapist. So I went to see a therapist. I might have been 25, maybe 25, 26. Went to see a therapist, and seeing her really changed my life, because she just helped me realize like it was okay. It was okay to have these feelings. It was okay to not know what was next. It was okay to be normal, to be human, right? Human. To make mistakes, like to learn as you go along with life. Like she just really provided a safe space for me just to be myself, and that changed my life. She did refer me to a psychiatrist for antidepressants. So I have taken antidepressants before, and they help. I really will say they help. I know sometimes in our community, we're skeptical of the healthcare system, of medications and those kinds of things. And I'll just say this: if you are at a place in your life where your symptoms keep you from functioning, right? So it's hard to get up, it's hard to go, you lay in bed all day, you sleep all day, you stay up all night, you're not productive, you can't focus, you can't concentrate, you're having emotional breakdowns, whether it's anger or sadness, anxiety, panic attacks, like you can't do the things in your normal life, or the things in life that you would normally do. It's hard to shower, it's hard to get up, it's hard to go. Medication does help. And what it does, it just really helps to balance out those intense emotions that you're feeling, help you concentrate, help you focus, and really kind of help you get back to like a baseline of functioning, right? It helps also in conjunction with therapy, because you're able to, it's one thing to come to therapy, but if you can't process what we're talking about, you can't process like what goals and what things we're trying to get to, medication will help you to like be able to comprehend and understand what is happening, what we're talking about, how to follow the conversation, those kinds of things. So I know we're skeptical, but it does work. I love being able to just be transparent in my mental health journey as a therapist. It helps clients to realize that they're not alone, and it also helps them to understand that, wow, like maybe medication can work for me, and maybe I should try it out. So I would just leave that there. But yeah, reach out to a mental health professional, y'all. Like, my therapist really changed my life. I've been in therapy a few times now. I've been in couples therapy. I've been in individual therapy a few times. I am still in therapy. I actually have a therapy session later on today. But I do have a therapist that I check in with. She holds me accountable. She tells me when I'm tripping, when I'm wrong. She helps me navigate my thoughts. All of the things that I have that are just like, you know, each and every one of you. Like, we all have stuff that we're working on. We all have strengths and weaknesses and flaws, but we can work through them. And just having that safe space to talk about them really helps. So I got in therapy, and I was just really determined to figure out just different ways of releasing the anxiety out of my body. I used to feel super, super anxious a lot. And then I was introduced to yoga. I don't even remember how I got introduced to yoga, but tried yoga, loved yoga. I loved how I felt after yoga. I just felt so free and light and happy, right? And so it really helped me connect to myself, mind, body, and spirit. I will tell people now, I do yoga now still. I try to do it daily, even if it's 10 or 15 minutes of just, okay, we're just gonna have a quick stretch. We're just gonna release your hips, whatever. But yoga really changed my life. It makes me feel happy. I get a lot of downloads, or like a lot of answers, right? I have a lot of aha moments on my mat, because that mat is that time that I'm taking to check in with myself. Nobody's there to bother me. I can focus on my body. I can focus on how I feel and focus on what I need. And so yoga definitely helped me release some of that tension and that buildup in my body. Being able to process and talk through my thoughts, being able to journal and write down my thoughts, being able to build up that self-awareness, right? Knowing my weaknesses, knowing my attachment style, going deeper with why I have an anxious attachment style, right? Like, why I attach to people in an anxious way, looking at my upbringing, looking at how I was parented. Like, all of those things really play into how you relate to people now as an adult. And so just being able to take a whole, you know, look at who I am, my childhood, now as an adult, and like how that affects how I show up today in life has been super helpful. Breaking dysfunctional patterns, breaking patterns and habits that no longer work for me. Growing up in a loud, chaotic home, I'll use this as an example. Yelling is a thing, tone of voice is a thing. I don't know why, but you know, people feel like if I yell, I'm going to be heard. So maybe that is why. If I yell, you hear me. If I yell, it kind of gives me some type of power, whatever that is. But growing up around that, I had to learn earlier, in my early 20s as well, that is not healthy, right? So like, I had to learn what healthy relationships are and how I did not want to continue being in unhealthy dynamics. And that meant that I had to walk this journey, right? This healing journey of what is love, what is wellness, what is, you know, having compassion for myself and others, what it means to be empathetic, what it means to learn to trust people, what it means to be vulnerable, who can I be vulnerable with, right? And I'm still learning these things, y'all. So if you are somebody who has depression, or you may think you might have depression, or anxiety, or any other mental health struggle, be patient with yourself. Be patient with yourself. I will say, first and foremost, that these things don't change overnight. We have been thinking this way. We have been doing the habits that may be unhealthy for years, right? And so you have to understand that there is no microwave instant process to your healing. It takes time, but through consistency, you can get there. By being accountable with yourself, you can get there. And sometimes it hurts, because sometimes the things that you're doing, they may be very enjoyable to you, right? You might, you know, one of my things, like, I don't drink now. I'm more of a social drinker now, but I knew that in college, in my 20s, when I go out, I'm turning up. I'm that girl. I am the girl that's getting the party started, right? But I also know that most of the time I was stressed, and most of the time it would be like a reaction to me, being stressed or being in college, being a grad student, whatever. And so most of the times it was like binge drinking for me, just to go out and just to take it to the extreme, right? Like push it to the limit. I pushed it to the limit a few times. So just wanting to do better, like wanting to have healthier habits and patterns, wanting to do this for the generation before me. So my mom, my grandma, like all of the people that didn't learn about self-care or didn't learn about wellness, and I have these options, I have these tools now in front of me, so I'm going to use them. And I want to learn how to heal. I want to learn how to not have these unhealthy coping strategies, right? So that is really what motivated me and got me on the pathway to healing. Healing is a journey. It is never ending. I am still on my healing journey. I still do suffer with anxiety and depression. I will say that you don't have to have a reason. I think that's the hardest thing for people to understand, is that you don't have to have a reason to be depressed. You just are and think it is what it is. Like it could be genetic, right? There's nothing that you can do to change that. But we do have to figure out how to boost our mood, how to boost our energy, how to get that discipline, and how to really break some of those negative thought patterns that we have so we don't remain stuck. Right? So we can't help the things we've been through, but we can choose to make better choices and better decisions, and just prioritize our mental health and our wellness. And your mental health is just as important as your physical health. I will tell you that. Learn to pay attention to what your mental health, what you need to re-energize yourself, to refocus, all of the things, because your mental health is wealth, right? All of your ideas, everything starts with a thought. We have to pay attention to what our thoughts are. And we have to acknowledge, I've had to acknowledge this even in myself when my thoughts were negative, right? I used to have really bad trust issues with people, and just think that, oh, well, what's their motive? Oh, well, they must be out to get me, or, so-and-so's a hater. All of it. Like, no, you can't continue to think like that. Just do you. Just do good in the world and see people as equals. And as long as you are doing what you need to do in the world, don't worry about nobody else. Like, really focus on yourself. And so I had to change that perspective. I had to, if I wanted to feel seen or feel heard, I had to realize that I needed to be more vulnerable in my relationships, right? I used to always say, like, oh, like, they don't know me, or people don't know me. And then I had to be real with myself. It's like, they don't know you because you don't speak up. You don't say anything. People don't know when you struggle because you don't say anything. You have what's called high functioning depression. I would consider myself very high functioning. Like, I could still go work, do what I need to do, but then come back home and be struggling. So nobody really knew my truth other than the people in my household. So just being more vocal, I have worked on doing that for sure. And I have been very just pleased with the feedback, I would say. It helps people to understand why you show up the way you do, why you might need a minute, why you might need to rest, instead of assuming things. It just helps us to be able to clearly communicate who we are and what we need from people, right? I would encourage you to find your coping strategies. Find what it is that you love to do to self-soothe. I love aromatherapy. It's something about scent is calming, is soothing. So anything that, if you think about your five senses, right? Things that you can see, touch, feel, hear. Which one did I leave off? Y'all know them. Think about your senses. I love smelling things. So any type of aromatherapy, I always have a candle. I always have some type of incense. I travel with them as well. I always bring a lighter. I need my smells. I need my essentials with me everywhere that I go, as a way to just soothe me, right? It feels comfortable. It feels safe for me. During the winter time, I struggle in the winter time with seasonal depression for sure. my energy is lower, I'm tired, I don't feel like going out, I just want to kind of stay in the house and like rest and nurture myself, right? I've learned to be okay with that. I've learned that my self-care in this winter time looks different than my self-care in the summertime. And so I do things that I enjoy during the winter. Definitely my scents, my blankets. I'm always trying to be cozy. You might catch me being very comfortable in my attire, my cardigans, stuff that I can just wrap around me that I feel safe in. A lot of soups. I like to eat warm things, and so I've been getting into like different soups that I can make from home, and also different teas that I can make at home too. So I've been getting into all of my different herbal teas. My coffee, I love my coffee, and so it's just the little things that make me happy. My mugs, like I'm really into coffee mugs, and just having like being able to set up all my stuff and just make my tea or make my coffee is really soothing for me. My self-care in the summertime, it looks a little different, right? I usually have a burst of energy in the summer. That's when I thrive. I like to travel during the summer. I like to disconnect and get out in Mother Nature during the summer. And so I prepare for that in the wintertime, right? And so there are things that you can do and structuring your life in a way that you are living a true life that aligns with who you are. So I would encourage that you figure out your self-care routine. If it's seasonal, like I said, having one for the winter and having one for the summer. Having a morning routine to start your day will really boost your motivation, boost your energy, set the tone for your day. If you are somebody, it is very hard for me to get up and go in the winter time specifically, but I still got to get up and go, right? So I usually start a podcast or some type of playlist or something to get me going, to get me focused, get me out the door, okay? A nice shower, whatever it is to wake you up. I love my coffee in the mornings. I love to like really set the tone in the car before I pull off if I have to go out to work. So really creating a way of peace and stillness and soothing for myself, because I already know there might be moments where I get depressed. There may be moments where I get anxious. Those moments are going to continue to happen. Like life is going to continue lifing, but I have to know how to soothe myself in the process and keep going. So a morning routine, I have a night routine for sleep, and so I'm doing things to create a zenful environment before I go to bed, right? I'm mindful of what I'm listening to. I'm mindful of, I might read before bed, I may stretch or do yoga before bed. I definitely meditate before bed. And so those are some of the kind of things that you can do just to kind of set the tone for your night too. So often I can ask people like, or somebody might say like, I have difficulty falling asleep. And my first question is like, well, what's your routine? Like, are you on your phone? Like, what are you doing? Because it's hard to fall asleep if you don't have if your brain is up, right? It's alert. You don't have that. It's not shutting down to go to sleep. So it's kind of impossible that you go to sleep that way. And so it's just education, right? It's a learning process. Be patient with yourself on the learning process, right? What I like to do may not be what you like to do. And so I really want you to just explore what you like, really. If it's not yoga, it's some type of movement. But we need to move our bodies. And moving your body for the right reason. So moving your body because you will feel calm. It will reduce your anxiety. It'll boost your mood. It'll release stress and help you with your endorphins or your happy hormones, your serotonin levels, those kind of things. Your body will follow. So often we are doing things in life for the wrong reasons, and that's why it's not working out. So you just have to have these moments where you're being real with yourself. Like, why am I pursuing? Why am I doing the thing that I'm doing? And if it doesn't really truly align with who I am as a person, then what's the point? Okay? I felt like that was a little deep, but y'all get it. I'm here to keep it real with you. And we're gonna go deep because I like to go deep. So what else has helped me with my mental health? Patience, I would say communicating. I am a very good communicator now. I would say since the past couple of years, communicating my boundaries, how I want people to show up for me in relationships, has been super helpful. Communicating when I feel down, communicating when I feel anxious, irritable, communicating when I need space or I need a minute to gather myself has been super helpful as well. So my spiritual journey, finding those things that I can connect to spiritually, Mother Nature. And by spiritual self-care, I'm not really referring to religion. So if that's your thing, cool. If it's not cool, I'm more so just referring to my spirit, right? Like, how do I tap into my inner peace and my spirituality? Getting out into Mother Nature is that for me. Making sure I balance out my chakras. I just had a beautiful sound bath and Rikki session yesterday, and I felt so good. I felt so energetic. I feel so clear. I feel open in all of my chakras, and so that is something that I do on a regular basis. I have my crystals, I have my plants as a way to connect to Mother Nature. I like to be outside just to go get some fresh air. So find those things that you enjoy, find those things that help soothe you, grounding, things that help ground you, things that help you feel safe and grounded, getting out and walking. You might hear people say walking grass barefoot, right? Or I love walking in sand as well. But just being able to ground yourself and soothe yourself is very, very beneficial. And affirmations around your fears. For me, reminding myself that I'm safe, reminding myself that I am protected, reminding myself that I am right where I need to be in this moment has been super helpful for me. Just repeat it to yourself when you start feeling panicky. I am safe. I am protected. I am right where I'm supposed to be in this moment. Money flows into my life freely and easily. So if you have any money scares, if you have any financial trauma, if you're learning how to be financially responsible, and nobody taught us these things, right? Maybe they did, but maybe they didn't. And so you're learning that as you go through this life, there is no roadmap. There is no roadmap, and that's what makes it scary sometimes, but you get to create your own roadmap. So don't give up, okay? Affirmations, I say them to myself. I write them down. I put them on the mirror, and I'm affirming to myself every day that I am great. I am capable of great things. Oh, one of the ones I like to say when I feel depressed is I can do the difficult things. I can do the difficult things, right? I may not always feel like it, but I know I can. You can do the difficult things, y'all. So, music. I love music. Music therapy is a thing. Find the music that boosts your energy, boosts your mood. I know some people have like sad playlists. If that's your thing, that's your thing, but I like to listen to music that's uplifting, music that makes me happy, and so I'm very mindful of what I'm listening to. And I just take a moment. Sometimes you need to take a moment away from people just to center yourself, and it's okay to be able to take that moment, whether it's at home, whether it's at work, whatever setting you might be in. It's okay to take some alone time so you can regroup. It takes a lot of energy to socialize. It takes a lot of energy to be around others, and I get that, especially with COVID. I feel like, getting back out and being social, it's a thing right now for everybody. So take the time you need. Be patient with yourself. Get outside your box, though. Don't get stuck, y'all. Sometimes we can get stuck in our negative thoughts and our negative habits, and I want you to be encouraged that you can conquer them, that you can work through them. But the only way out is through, okay? You don't have to remain stuck there. You don't have to remain stuck in your life, okay? Listen to your body. Know when you need to rest. Your body will shut down if you don't, okay? Your immune system, illnesses, all of the things will start happening. Stress is killing people, y'all. Stress kills, okay? Take care of yourself. Listen to your body. Listen to your mind. Listen to your spirit. Your emotional guidance system is trying to tell you something. Now, we need to be mindful of if what it's telling us is true or not, right? That's where the self-awareness comes in. And I'll give you an example. If I'm always in fight or flight, I have to remind my mind that I'm in a safe situation right now. I have observed the area, and this is a safe place for me to be. We don't have a reason to panic, so I need you to calm down. And so I literally have to talk to myself like, you're good, you're safe. It's okay to be here. It's okay to be still. So yeah. Sometimes if you have a negative thought process, you got to be like, well, what facts do I have to support how I feel? There's no validity to that statement, right? There's no validity to that thought process. But just because you think something doesn't make it true, y'all. We think things because of past experiences, because of what we've learned, because of what we've been told growing up, okay? You have the power to change your narrative and to change your story and to conquer whatever anxiety, fear, stress, sadness, whatever it is that's there. You have what it takes to conquer it. If you would like to, I just want y'all to connect to somebody if you need to connect to somebody. If you need to reach out to a mental health professional, being able to look out and research a mental health professional in your area. You have certain directories online. Psychology Today is a directory. Therapy for black girls. Therapy for black girls. Getting tongue-tied. Black professional therapists. There's the National Suicide Hotline phone numbers. There's crisis line phone numbers in your area. Now we have just the different phone numbers and the different ways of connecting to help and services. So please get connected. If you have any questions or concerns on how to do that, I'll make sure I drop them in the notes. I want you all to be able to just live in your truth, right? It's okay to acknowledge where you are. It's okay to acknowledge where we have room to grow. It's okay to be human. It's okay to show up. It's okay to have flaws, y'all. It's okay to be imperfect. It's okay to be raw and real and true. And the right people that are meant to be there on your journey will be there on your journey. They will not judge you. They will hold space for you, and they will help you along this thing we call life. So that's my piece. If you have any questions, if you have any topics that you want to share or talk about, send me an email. I want to hear from you. Tell me what you like, what you don't like, what you want to hear. therapywithrikki@gmail.com is the email address. I am on Instagram as Therapy with Rikki. YouTube as Therapy with Rikki. I have a few spots left for the Flourishing Minds Wellness Academy. That is an academy. It's virtual. It will take place in Q1 of this year. We start next week, actually, January 22nd. And we'll talk about all things mind, body, and spirit. So we'll do a workshop session, and then we'll do a session of body movement and meditation and breath work and sound healing. So that is going to be beautiful. We meet twice a month. And then I have a few spots left for the Flourishing Minds Wellness Retreat in Tulum. We are taking over Mexico. We're going to Tulum May 8th through May 13th. And I'm so excited to go there and hold space for you. If you are looking to connect with like-minded women, if you are looking to disconnect from work, life, and all the things to reconnect with yourself, this is the perfect opportunity to do so. We will have yoga, we'll have meditation, we'll have salsa class. We're gonna do some massages, all of the things, y'all. We're gonna come and just reconnect with ourselves and have a little luxury wellness experience. That information can also be found on my website, therapywithrikki.com. Until next time, peace and love, y'all.